In today's video, Joker. This is the story of Arthur Fleck and how he became a famous comic villain. Directed by Todd Phillips, presents as a background we haven't seen in other Joker films. In this movie, we see how Arthur is displayed as someone with a mental health problem that causes him random laughing fits that he cannot control. He's medicated and dependent on social services, and also lives in his mother's apartment, which makes him kind of an outcast in Gotham society.
Deja de humillar de repente a este pobre hombre.
This is due to the idea of self-reliance, widely spread in American society, that adults should have responsibility over themselves and their lives, and how shameful it is to depend on the government or even your parents to live. That's why, when he's in Mary's show, people laugh at him when he reveals he still lives with her.
I live right here in the city with my mother.
The film begins with a starting point for the downfall of Arthur's life. While he was working, he's assaulted on the street by some kids that end up breaking the sign he had and hitting him on the ground.
Se pudrió todo. Buah.
Because of this, Randall, a co-worker, gives him a gun to protect himself the next time he's threatened. But as this movie will show us more about it later, Arthur is destined to suffer. That's why he loses his job after he drops Randall's gun while dancing in a children's hospital.
Qué pedazo de idiota, por Dios.
As he was coming back home in the subway, he sees how a woman is being harassed by 3 men. Arthur begins to laugh, which leads the harassment to him.
Va a haber un crimen ahí.
While he was being beaten up by these men on the floor, he takes out the gun and shoots 2 of them, which instantly die. The third one tries to escape.
Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run, 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 run away.
But he gets him and shoots him dead.
Uno menos. Este no jode más.
Arthur didn't know, but with this action he became an important symbol of resistance for the city rioters. Although he works as a clown for a company, he's an aspiring stand-up comedian who sometimes participates, quite unsuccessfully,
There's one.
on open mic nights at a comedy club. To improve his own routine, he watches other comedians' acts. He feels uncomfortable as he realizes he's not as good as them, but keeps trying anyway. In these scenes, we see the belief of equality of opportunity and competition. In the American dream, everyone has the chance of becoming successful, at least enough to change his current reality. This is what Arthur dreams about. He thinks that if he becomes famous, everything will be better for him. So he tries and tries, even knowing that those with whom he competes are better than him. But having the opportunity doesn't mean instant success, even if you suffer for it.
No.
He hallucinates about having a relationship with his neighbor.
Pedazo de psicópata.
And also with being in Mary's show. And after a tape of one of his comedian acts becomes viral, he's finally called and invited to the show. The riots at Gotham Society were getting worse every day. Arthur saw it on TV and decided to go to one against Thomas Wayne and running candidate for city mayor. This was an opportunity for him to talk about his mother and his alleged paternity.
Tengo miedo que termine muy mal esto.
Once again, we are reminded Arthur is destined to suffer as he finds out from Wayne that he's not his father and that he was adopted and abused by Penny and her ex-boyfriend.
Because you're adopted.
Finally, because of his insistence, Arthur is also punched by Thomas. Then he travels to Arkham's hospital to dig about his mother.
Atiendo boludos. ¿No te das cuenta que atiendo boludos?
Just to find horrible things about his very own past. The bad news make Arthur kill her in the hospital. This is why, while he was preparing himself to go to Mary's show, his ex-2 workers, Randall and Gary, show up to pay their respects and cheer him up. Arthur, in a fit of rage, kills Randall because he was the reason he lost his job at Haha's in the first place.
¿Por qué esa maldad?
But allows Gary to leave because he was always nice to him. After being invited and ridiculed at Mary's show, he shoots the presenter on air, but not before revealing that he's the subway killer.
Killed those 3 Wall Street guys.
No hablé.
Who caused a huge riots in the city.
You're awful.
Me? I'm awful? Oh yeah, how am I awful?
Playing my video. Inviting me on the show. You just wanted to make fun of me. You're just like the rest of them.
You don't know the first thing about me, pal. Look what happened because of what you did, what it led to. There were riots out there. 2 policemen are in critical condition. You're laughing. You're laughing. Someone was killed today because of what you did.
I know. How about another joke, Murray?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get?
I don't think so.
When you cross
I think
a
we're
mentally
done
ill
with your
loner
jokes.
with
That's
a
it.
society that abandons him and treats him like trash.
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
You get what you fucking deserve.
Basta, chicos.
Later, he's imprisoned by the cops, whose car ends up being crashed by an ambulance, and Arthur appears to be dead.
A cruzar los dedos.
Also, the rioters were crazier than ever, destroying the city,
¿De qué carajo? ¿De qué están protestando, mierda?
among other things, and they even killed Thomas Wayne and his wife, leaving the little Bruce alone, making him the future Batman. So, coming back to the car crash, Arthur appears to be dead.
Is it confirmed?
So the rioters take him out of the car, carrying his body as if he were some kind of god, and leave him on top of the car. Suddenly he wakes up to the crowd cheers and dances to them with a bloody painted smile on his face. This is the same society that mocked him before, that now loves him and sees him as a symbol of rebellion. Finally, he's put into a mental asylum, and we're shown in a scene where Arthur begins laughing and his therapist asks him,
Do you want to tell it to me?
which he replies,
Esta es una frase descomunal.
implying that everything we saw in the movie
Nacho, agárrate los pantalones.
was a product of his imagination.
Estoy tan sorpresa como todos ustedes.
These 2 scenes can be taken as a metaphor of how society uses you while you're profitable, but then they will abandon you when you're not longer useful.